moments like this, where we have seen so much darkness this year, it's important now more than ever to manifest joy and to celebrate the moments like this. My name is Kika Matos. I am the president of the National Immigration Law Center. I'm also a resident of New Haven, Connecticut. It was 6 months ago, and just a few days before his graduation at Maloney High School here in Meriden, that Kevin and his dad were taken into custody during what was supposed to be a routine check-in at the federal building in Hartford. Routine immigration check-in, they went in as per the expectations. They were taken in, and Kevin was then transferred between ICE facilities, and he was ultimately sent to Texas. During that time, the Trump administration tried to deport him not once, but twice. Kevin's sudden detention shocked classmates, educators, faith leaders, and elected officials, all of whom quickly mobilized to demand his release. Officials across the state also condemned his detention. Over 100 faith leaders from different denominations appealed for his release, calling it a violation of our values here in Connecticut. Advocates, led by Connecticut Students for Dreams, worked tirelessly for his release, and lawyers from the American Immigration Law Clinic, under the leadership of Glenn Formica, got to work representing Kevin in court. Well, call it a Christmas miracle or an example of what happens when communities come together to fight for justice, but it fills me with great joy to say that together we are gathered to celebrate the fact that Kevin is home. We get to celebrate not just the fact that he is with us, but tomorrow is his birthday. So we're going to celebrate his birthday as well. Y ahora voy a decirlo brevemente en español. Estamos aquí porque hace 6 meses atrás, unos cuantos días antes de su graduación, Kevin y su papá fueron a una cita con la migra y lo detuvieron y lo mandaron a Texas. Y la administración bajo Trump trató de deportarlo 2 veces, pero la comunidad, a los defensores de los derechos de inmigrantes y los abogados decidieron luchar por los derechos de Kevin, y también la comunidad aquí en Meriden, incluso líderes de las iglesias, los líderes políticos, organizaciones comunitarias, todos fueron a la defensa de Kevin, y debido a eso estamos celebrando el hecho de que hoy, que sea un milagro de la Navidad, o que sea el hecho de que cuando uno pelea por la justicia a veces tenemos resultados positivos. Estamos aquí celebrando el hecho de que Kevin está aquí con nosotros, y estamos celebrando no solamente el hecho de que está con nosotros, pero que mañana es su cumpleaños, así que vamos a celebrar ambas cosas. To kick off this celebratory event, thank you. Let me call on Meriden's Mayor Kevin Scarpati to say a few words.
Good morning. And thank you, Kika. Thank you, everyone, for turning out to simply say, welcome home, Kevin. Welcome home. There are a number of officials in the room that I would just like to recognize briefly from our city. We have a number of city councilors. We have City Councilor Chad Cardillo, City Councilor Sarah Taylor, Kirsten Meisner, John Hasselt. We have City Councilor, I know I have some up here on the stage. We have our Majority Leader, Sonia Jelks, whom you'll be hearing from, our Deputy Majority Leader, LaRue Graham, City Councilor Yvette Cortez. Did I miss any City Councilors? We also have from the Board of Education, our Board President, Stephen O'Donnell. We have our Superintendent, Mark Benigni, as well as our City Manager, Brian Daniels. We have our state delegation members, all of them in attendance, state representatives, Hilda Santiago, Michael Quinn, Jack Fazzino, and our State Senator, Jan Hockadell. As you heard, it takes a village. And although I am merely one voice out of a city of 60,000, it is a privilege to represent you all, to welcome Kevin home, and to thank all of you, your fierce advocates in your belief. As I said to Kevin when I greeted him this morning, he has an army behind him, and it is clear and evident by the turnout here this morning, but also from the work that we were not privy to, seeing day in and day out, so that Kevin's name, his message, and his will was not forgotten over the last 6 months. I remember getting that phone call on a Friday afternoon with the news that Kevin was detained, he and his father, as was outlined earlier. And we put wheels in motion immediately, contacting our federal delegation. Senator Blumenthal's office was among the first phone calls I made, in addition to many calls that myself and Majority Leader Jelks were on in the days and weeks following. I just want to wrap up by concluding with a message of hope, as if nothing else, let us take Kevin's strength that he has shown the last 6 months and bring that into our homes this holiday season. May your Christmas tree shine a little brighter tonight, knowing that with all of us doing the work, great things will happen. Thank you, Merry Christmas, and Kevin, happy birthday. Welcome home.
Thank you, Mayor Scarpati. One of the first lawyers to jump on Kevin's case was Megan Faich from Connecticut Legal Services, as she was willingly recruited by Glenn Formica. Her role grew exponentially over time, and she fought tirelessly and zealously on Kevin's behalf. Let us give a warm welcome to Megan.
Hello, everyone. As Kika said, I'm one of Kevin's legal team, and I want to thank you for gathering here on this Christmas Eve to celebrate Kevin's return home. This is an important moment and deserves recognition, because over 6 months ago, Kevin was taken from this community. Alongside his father, Kevin was detained by ICE officers and transferred thousands of miles away from his home. He was disappeared from his family, his friends, and his community. But thankfully, that wasn't the end of the story, because Kevin fought back, and after this community made a lot of noise, I got a call from Father Manship, a pillar of this community, who asked for my help, and I agreed. And I became a part of a growing legal team that included Glenn Formica and would go on to include Matt Blumenthal and Francis. As someone that has gotten to know Kevin pretty well over the past 6 months, I can tell you he's really special. While Kevin was in a detention facility in the middle of nowhere, Texas, we were preparing to file a motion in his immigration case to halt his deportation. And this is why the government moves people to places like Texas, to move them far away from their counsel, to make things harder to move forward. But Kevin didn't let that stop him. ICE took Kevin in the middle of the night with his father to deport him in secret. The ICE agent told Kevin he could make one last call, and he called me. While other kids might have called their family members or their friends, he made a call to his lawyer at 3 o'clock in the morning. He had memorized my phone number, and by this one phone call, he was able to stop the agents from deporting him. And this was only the beginning of the fight, because I will tell you there were many times that I felt that the government was going to win or destroy us in the process. On our weekly check-ins, Kevin and I would always end the call with the same routine. I would tell him, step by step, we'll get there. And he would tell me, this is in God's hands. And with that encouragement, we made it to this day. And I ask you to learn from Kevin's example and participate in this fight with us. We need you, the community, to join us. We need you to donate to give kids like Kevin access to free lawyers. We need you to volunteer to accompany people to court hearings. We need you to call your representatives when anti-immigrant bills are proposed in Congress. We need you to demand that this administration stop detaining people unjustly. And for those who are afraid to step outside, to pick up your children from school, to show up to court, we are here for you, and you are not on your own. Because in the end, only we, the people, can save us. I'm just going to deliver the message in Spanish. Buenos días a todos. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta Nochebuena para celebrar el regreso de Kevin a casa. Hoy es un momento importante y merece reconocimiento. Más de 6 meses atrás, Kevin fue secuestrado de esta comunidad. A la par de su papá, él fue detenido por oficiales de ICE y transferido miles de kilómetros aparte de su familia. Él fue desaparecido de su familia, sus amigos y su comunidad. Pero gracias a Dios, eso no fue el final de la historia, porque Kevin decidió a luchar. Después que esta comunidad protestó, yo recibí una llamada de Padre Manship sobre Kevin, y cuando él me pidió ayuda, me puso a la orden. Me hice parte del equipo legal para Kevin, incluyendo Glenn, Matt y Francis. Como alguien que ha llegado a conocer Kevin durante estos 6 meses, les digo que Kevin es único. Les contaré una historia. Cuando Kevin estaba en el centro de detención en medio de la nada en Texas, estábamos preparando una moción en su caso de migración para pedirle al gobierno a parar su deportación. La razón que el gobierno transfiere gente a Texas es para alejarles de sus abogados. Pero Kevin no permitió que eso lo detuviera. ICE los llevó en medio de la noche para deportarlos en secreto. El agente de ICE le permitió una llamada final y él me llamó a las 3 de la mañana. Él memorizó mi número de teléfono y así él paró su deportación. Y eso solo fue el comienzo de la lucha. Porque les digo, hubieron varias veces cuando sentí que el gobierno iba a ganar o a destruirnos en el proceso. En nuestras llamadas semanales, siempre terminamos la llamada con la misma rutina. Le decía, paso a paso, llegaremos. Y él respondía, en las manos de Dios. Y con estos ánimos lo logramos. Les pido hoy aprender del ejemplo de Kevin y participar en la lucha. Necesitamos a ustedes, la comunidad, que se nos unan. Necesitamos que ustedes donen para que niños como Kevin tengan acceso a abogados gratuitos. Necesitamos que ustedes sean voluntarios para acompañar personas a sus audiencias. Necesitamos que ustedes llamen a sus representantes cuando hay leyes contra migrantes propuestas en el Congreso. Necesitamos que ustedes le exijan a esta administración que pare de tener gente sin justificación. Y para los que tienen miedo a salir, a recoger sus niños de la escuela, a asistir a sus audiencias, estamos aquí para ustedes. Y sepan que no están solos, porque al final solo el pueblo salva al pueblo. Gracias.
Gracias, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Behind almost every successful effort to fight for justice for those who have been wronged is an organization or a set of organizations that pour blood, sweat, and tears into strategy and advocacy, who work long hours and never give up or lose hope. That organization, which has fought for Kevin over the last 6 months, is Connecticut Students for a Dream. Here to speak on behalf of the organization is Andrea Sanchez, who is the executive consultant for the president of the organization. Let us show Connecticut Students for a Dream some love.
Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays and welcome home, Kevin. My name is Andrea Sanchez, and I'm a senior staff member at Connecticut Students for a Dream, or C4D. I have worked very closely with Tabitha Sukdeo, our fearless executive director, since the start of this administration's second term. C4D is also a proud member of the broader Connecticut Immigrant Support Network, working alongside vulnerable immigrant families, advocates, legal-based organizations, elected officials, schools, faith-based leaders, and volunteers across the state. I have witnessed firsthand countless heartbreaking stories of family separation and have conducted many post-detention intakes. And so I am thrilled to witness this legal victory and the collective work that made it possible. At Connecticut Students for a Dream, we fight for the rights and dignity of undocumented youth and their families in the state of Connecticut. That's why, when we got the call about Kevin back in June, we were immediately and fiercely committed to doing everything we could to get Kevin back home. Now that he's back, C4D's priorities are making sure that he has what he needs during his re-entry into Meriden. And when he's ready, ensuring that he is able to continue his plans of attending higher education through our college access program that is specifically tailored to undocumented students. We are grateful to all the different players that helped get him here. It truly took a whole community that extended as far as Texas, and I'd love to highlight them now. Kevin's legal representation was made possible through the American Immigrant Law Clinic, or TALC, a new community-driven initiative. TALC was conceived by attorney Glenn Formica to meet a growing need in the state for coordinated legal strategy and support for immigrants facing detention and deportation. This project demonstrates how working directly with impacted populations, with the support of local advocates and leaders, and partnering with attorneys across state lines can turn abstract protections in immigration law into concrete results for young people like Kevin. In Kevin's case, the American Immigrant Law Clinic was successful in supporting the work of Connecticut Legal Services and the incredibly committed and very talented attorney, Megan Faish. The legal delay tactics and policies of the Office of Refugee Resettlement that prevented Kevin's release from custody were overcome by the filing of a habeas corpus petition in the Southern District of Texas. That legal initiative was led by attorney and state representative Matt Blumenthal from Koskoff, and Beater, and Francis Bourlio of the Texas law firm Gonzalez Olivieri. The collaboration of a national tort firm such as Koskoff, and Beater, and a prominent Texas immigration law firm such as Gonzalez Olivieri demonstrates the power and potential of the American Immigrant Law Clinic network here in Connecticut. The Connecticut Immigrant Support Network played a central role in building trust, relationship, and infrastructure needed for Kevin's case to be prioritized and supported over time. Members of the impacted immigrant community in Connecticut were not just observers, they were partners, helping gather necessary documents and information, providing mutual aid and emotional support, and keeping public attention on the human consequences of detention. Kevin's case was strengthened by coordination with public officials on the local, state, and national level, including Meriden Councilwoman Sonia Jelks and U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal. The Senator's office has been a steady ally on immigrant rights and federal detention issues. Today's announcement underscores that protecting immigrant children is not a partisan question, but a basic matter of law, safety, and humanity. Connecticut Students for a Dream, the Connecticut Immigrant Support Network, and the American Immigrant Law Clinic will continue to work together in close partnership to expand capacity and access to competent, affordable immigration representation, building on this case to pursue systemic changes in detention and release practices. It shouldn't have taken 6 months and 3 legal entities in the state of Connecticut, 1 in Texas, several community organizations, the Maloney High School community, City Council, a sign-on of over 100 faith leaders across the state. The list goes on. It shouldn't have taken that long or that many people to get a 16-year-old child out of detention, somewhere he should have never been in the first place. But this is how the system is operating. We are up against an organized and overfunded Goliath, And until that changes, we will continue to meet the moment and do whatever it takes to protect our community. Kevin's release must be a beginning, not an endpoint. There are many other children and families in and emerging from ORR custody who still need legal representation and community support. The call today is for continued partnership among community leaders, legal advocates, and elected officials to ensure that no child faces the immigration system alone again. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. So Kevin, el equipo legal de Kevin, Kevin's legal team empezó con Glenn and then Megan, and then his lawyers expanded over time as they pursued additional legal remedies. One of those lawyers is Matt Blumenthal from Koskoff and Beater. Come on up, Matt.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for being here today, and thank you for all the work that you've done to help bring Kevin home. My name is Matt Blumenthal, and I am proud to be one of Kevin's lawyers. And before I continue, I just want to talk about the rest of the legal team. In the habeas proceeding, Megan acted and served as Kevin's next friend, and that is a legal term of art. But in this case, I don't think there could be any term more appropriate, because Kevin could have no better friend than Megan and no better lawyers than Megan and Glenn, who have been fighting for him from the beginning. So let's give them a round of applause. I was honored to help represent Kevin in his federal habeas corpus proceeding, along with Francis Berlioz, who you'll hear from in a moment as well. And what basically happened in that proceeding is that we wrote and filed a detailed petition explaining why the federal government had no legal basis to continue to imprison Kevin in Texas. The judge in Texas issued an order for the government to come forward and explain why that continued imprisonment would be legally justified. And instead of coming to court and justifying its conduct, claiming it had a legal basis to hold Kevin, the government announced that they would release him. And you're going to hear, and you're going to see, that Kevin is exemplary. Kevin is mature. Kevin is courageous. But in this country, a kid shouldn't have to be exemplary. They shouldn't have to be mature. They shouldn't have to be courageous to avoid being unjustly detained, shipped 1,000 miles across the country away from their family, their community, and their potential sources of support, and imprisoned for 6 months illegally. It should be just enough that they're a kid. In this country, it should be enough just that they're a human being. And so Kevin's release and his return today is a victory not only for Kevin, not only for his family, and not only for this community. It is a victory for the rule of law. It shows that justice and decency can prevail. He shouldn't have to be on the front lines of this fight, but his strength and his courage should inspire us. Kevin's imprisonment was cruel, it was unjust, and it violated the laws and the Constitution of the United States. His return should send a message to this administration. There are no holes of oblivion in this country. When our immigrant neighbors are unjustly detained, Connecticut communities and lawyers will stand up, fight back, partner with skilled and experienced attorneys across this country, and we will hold this administration accountable before the law. Thank you.
There are two Blumenthals here today. That's Blumenthal number one, and in case you saw his father looking proudly at him, you'll know why. Kevin, you've just met Kevin's legal team from Connecticut, but he also had lawyers advocating on his behalf in Texas. And you're about to meet his Texas lawyer. Her name is Frances Borleo. She works at Gonzalez Olivieri, and she flew all the way on Christmas Eve from Texas to be with us today. So let us please give her a Connecticut welcome.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. On a personal note, there are two really big reasons why I'm so thrilled to be here. One, I have a son who is just a couple weeks older than Kevin, and I just could not imagine being separated from him for, with no legal authority. The second thing is, this is a much different welcome than what I usually get in Texas, so this energy is totally... This energy, I'm taking it back to Texas. It's going to fuel us for the next however long we need to fight. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the project and the reason why I got involved. The American Immigrant Law Clinic project, which you've already heard about a little bit, was built to meet a very real gap in our immigration system, one that affects families, due process, and access to justice. Too many people in our community never get a real chance to be heard. Not because of any judgment on the merits of their case, but really just because they don't have access to legal support where it matters the most. The project has a couple of core components that all work together. They work directly with the community to help members gather important documents, to educate them about the legal system, and just to kind of organize them and help them in the beginning. And that organization in the beginning can be the difference between chaos and clarity if someone is later detained. If someone is detained, they can then come to the clinic and meet with attorneys, supplement filings, and be supported through the bond hearings and the master calendar hearings. That case is then transferred to panel attorneys for full representation, and this representation is accessible to a wider variety or a wider population. Those panel attorneys are not on their own, though. They have ongoing support and access to clinic attorneys and law professors for briefing, strategy, and issue support. Recently, they launched a new arm, and that's where I got involved. It's the habeas and federal district court litigation. I was incredibly honored and humbled to be brought into this case. When Megan first called me, there was really no other answer. It was an immediate yes. I was very lucky to go to my law firm and talk to my law firm, and they were immediately also a yes, extremely supportive, 100% behind us. And this component is really where we are. I am hoping to really bring this project down to Texas. Glenn, I would like to expand you a little bit. This is bringing together lawyers of all different backgrounds. People who have never been to immigration court are teaming up with litigators who, really have the experience in federal court. People in federal court who've never been to immigration court are learning from each other. And together, we're creating new energy and new skills. And that energy, I will tell you, as someone from Texas, was absolutely contagious. Getting on a call with this team, with Glenn and with Matt and with Megan, was just so energizing for me. You know, as you might imagine, some days, especially in Texas, you wake up, you go to work, and it's a little bit, you feel like you're getting beat down. And there was always hope. There was always this real exciting sense of we're doing this together, we're in this together, and we're all working to bring Kevin home. And our goal was to bring Kevin home before his birthday. So I'm really, really honored to be here to welcome him home. And I would really just like to kind of shed light on this project. This project is going to be expanded. Glenn, I'm bringing you down. And hopefully we'll be producing practical training and resources for attorneys around the country to get involved. We all need to be fighting together. We all need to stand together and protect the real people and the families in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Kevin was blessed to have not one, but two Blumenthals advocating on his behalf. And both of them used their brilliance and their commitment to issues of justice to fight on Kevin's behalf. It is always a joy for me to introduce my most favorite senator, Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Thank you. How about a big round of applause for Kika Matos, who is a national leader and tireless, relentless, and a real model of advocacy in our nation on behalf of justice. You know, when Kevin called me, Mayor Kevin, the other Kevin, not the Kevin behind me, he was smart. He called his lawyer first. And he described to me what was happening. My first reaction was disbelief. I was aghast. And I thought to myself, not in America. A student about to graduate, seized by immigration authorities, detained, taken from his home, sent to Texas, literally days before his graduation, not in America. This doesn't happen in America. But what happened to Kevin 6 months ago was the canary in the coal mine, because what we've seen since is this ongoing pattern of illegality, cruelty, heartbreak, heartless action by ICE and immigration authorities. And Kevin had the really good fortune to have behind him a wonderful community. Sonia, Kevin, and let's give a big shout out to the students of Maloney High School. You know, those students knew him best. They knew him best, and they left a seat open for him at his graduation. They were behind him all the way. And they knew him as a remarkable young man who one day, I hope, in fact, I believe, will be a citizen of the United States of America. And he will contribute enormously to our great country. He will make it even greater. And the reason why we are the greatest country in the history of the world is because we are a nation of immigrants. Let us never forget, we are a nation of immigrants. So I want to thank this great community. I want to thank public officials like Sonia and all who are represented here today. I want to thank the lawyers, Megan, Francis, Glenn, Matt. You know, for all that you're seeing here today, there was an enormous amount of hard work, heavy lifting that went into those petitions and the representation in court, which enabled Kevin to have this day. And I want to thank the unions who are here today, who are continuing to fight for immigrants. But most of all, of course, thank you to Kevin. What happened to him was heartless and heartbreaking. Kevin did everything right. What happened to him was wrong. And we should recognize injustice when it happens in this country, because that's how we become better as a nation. And let's recognize that Kevin is here today on the eve of Christmas, but on this day, thousands of young people, in fact, people of all ages, are detained or deported unjustly in this great country. Americans should have a hard time recognizing what this country did to Kevin, because what happened to him was un-American. It is a contradiction of our basic values of fairness and decency, and yes, the rule of law. And I'm going to invite Kevin to come down to Washington, D.C. I'm going to invite him to come to the Capitol, talk to my colleagues. I'm going to ask him to be the face and voice of justice so they can see what's really happening in this country. And what happened to him 6 months ago has been repeated again and again and again. We had a hearing in Washington before the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations about American citizens who have been seized by masked, unidentified agents, thrown into unmarked cars. American citizens. And we produced a report called Unchecked Authority. About 22 of those citizens, but there are many more than 22, just like there are many more Kevins in this country that we need to recognize deserve justice. And so, in elevating his story, I hope we can make more Americans aware of the need to insist on accountability. People who are violating the law should be held responsible. And I can pledge to you I can pledge to you I'm going to demonstrate the same kind of vigilance and vigor, the same kind of energy that these lawyers showed in fighting for Kevin, in trying to improve that system. And I know everybody here, everybody who knows Kevin's story is going to join in this fight for justice. Thank you all.
Kevin's return marks a powerful moment of relief and celebration for the Meriden community, which refused to let his story fade. Students, educators, advocates, faith leaders, and public officials never stopped fighting for him. Kevin, todo el mundo estaba peleando por tus derechos. One person in particular stands out for the way that she has used her formidable leadership skills to fight on Kevin's behalf. She constantly reminded folks that Kevin is one of Meriden's sons. Amongst immigration advocates, she has affectionately become known as the Queen for her badassery. Let us please give a warm welcome to City Council Majority Leader Sonia Jout.
I have to tell you that I haven't slept just out of sheer nervousness. I think most people don't know, but just about everybody on this stage, with the exception of my Meriden folks, I've never put eyes on them before. I've never met Kevin, I've never seen him, but I knew that he belonged to us and he needed to be back. I can't remember exactly how I got involved. All I know is that I have two daughters, one of which was graduating same year as Kevin. And as I prepared my kids to go back to college and to go off to college freshman year, he's just been constantly on my mind. Just wondering where he is, how he's feeling, how he's managing, if he knows that we're praying and thinking about him. What more can we do? Megan and team all know that I sent many a text message asking, status, I want a status, what's going on? Is he okay? What can we do? Because it's so unfair to treat one of our children this way. And if he was one of my biological kids, I would fight for him the same way I would fight for mine. I'm so happy that we have you back. I'm so happy that we have you back. And I also want to thank this wonderful community, guys. You can say whatever you want about Meriden. We take care of ours, and we are always going to be here for him. I want Kevin and any of our other community members to know that we are always going to be here for him. We're going to be here for any of our community members that need us, however they need us, for as long as they need us. I'm hoping, Kevin, that once things settle down some and you get an opportunity to tell us what you want to do next, my kids will tell you, I'm there, I got you. We're going to make sure that you get back on track, that you get where you want to be, and we're going to be here to support you through wherever your goals take you. I'm so grateful to the wonderful students. I think having your classmates come out really helped to set the tone for how this community was going to support you. And they've been thinking of you. I get lots of calls, some of them angry because they think that I'm not doing enough. But we certainly want to make sure that you know that we've been praying for you. We've been constantly thinking of you. I'm so grateful that I've had an opportunity to meet some of your family today, that I've learned to use Google Translate very easily to send. My text message thinks that I'm Spanish now, since I'm texting so much in Spanish. But I certainly am just so grateful for the opportunity to see you, to put eyes on you, and hopefully continue to see you grow. I heard so many wonderful things about how you were even coping during that time. And I heard that you were a leader even in that environment, and we're so proud of you. We understand that you took care of others that were detained with you as well. And that just breaks my heart, but it also makes me proud to know that our kids know when they go, that they go with the skills that we've taught them to succeed and to be kind and loving and gentle to other people as well. So I just want to again thank all of the lawyers. I mean, we have done so many calls and conversations, and the fact that most of your work has been done for free to help this family. We're so grateful. And whatever we can do to continue to support this organization and the work that they're looking to continue to do, I ask the community to please, let's make sure that we sign up and that we support. I believe one of my council members has a notebook, so if someone wants to sign up to get more information about the newly formed organization, let us know so we can put you in contact, whether that is to donate to the organization or if that's to participate or volunteer to help. But we really just want to make sure that everyone knows that just because this is happening and we see it on TV every day, it is not right. It's not something we should accept. And we certainly should not expect that we would be treating our most vulnerable citizens, our children, in the manner in which this baby was treated. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm hoping that more people see it, more people get out and raise their voice and make sure that we're letting folks know that this is unacceptable. We should not be traumatizing children when they're in the prime of their life to move forward. This is a wonderful kid. We should not be treating our children this way. So again, I do want to thank everyone that's been so actively involved. I do thank the city and all of our leadership and our state delegation and obviously our federal Congress people who also have been very helpful in everything that they've done. Just please let us know whatever we can do to continue to help you guys and be a support while you're fighting for us as well. But Kevin, welcome back, sweetie, and happy birthday. I will be in touch with you very soon to go through the next steps. Yeah. Thank you.
Before before the press conference is over, we're going to sing Kevin happy birthday both in Spanish and in English. Le vamos a cantar feliz cumpleaños a Kevin en español y inglés. And I know we all want to hear from Meriden's son, so please show some love to Kevin.
Buenos días con todos. Thank you so much for everyone. Estoy agradecido primeramente con Dios del volver aquí. Agradecido con todos ustedes porque gracias a ustedes salí. Y también por Dios. Okay. That's fine.
I just want to say thank you. I'm so grateful that all of you came out here for me today.
Tengo pocas palabras, estoy nervioso, pero estoy agradecido con todos porque nunca esperé tanto apoyo, pero
I don't have a lot of words, but I just want to say how thankful I am for all of you. I'm really nervous.
You got this, Kevin.
muchas gracias por todo y
Thank you for everything.
espero que sigan apoyando. Realmente quiero que no solo el apoyo sea hacia mí, también quiero que todos nos unamos para poder ayudar a más gente.
Really, I'm not just asking for help for me. I'm asking for you all to continue to support more people.
Porque no es fácil pasar estos procesos y he visto mucha gente que lo pasa muy mal en ello.
Porque it's very hard to go through this process, and I've seen a lot of people that have done badly because of it.
No es fácil y somos seres humanos todos y no merecemos ser tratados así.
It's not easy, and we're all human, and we shouldn't be treated like this.
Y solo les pido apoyo a todos los que deseen ayudar a los demás muchachos, que todos necesitamos apoyo de ustedes y espero que nos ayuden.
I ask for you to help the other boys, the other people like me, and I just ask for your help.
Thank you.
Are we ready to sing happy birthday? Yeah? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha in Spanish now? Yeah? John Lugo, te veo en español, por favor. Los de habla hispana, ¿quiénes hablan español aquí? Ok, canten conmigo porque yo verdaderamente soy un fracaso en cuanto vienen a cantar. ¿Están listos? Feliz, feliz en tu día, amiguito, que Dios te bendiga, que reine la paz en tu vida y que cumplas muchos más. I am now going to ask Jennifer Straub, the principal of Maloney High School, to come on up here.
Thank you very much for being here today, and I'm thrilled to be here. I am the proud principal of Maloney High School, and I represent a long line of people who have been waiting to say, welcome home, Kevin. We are also incredibly happy and relieved to see you back where you belong with your family and your community. The strength and resilience you've shown during such a difficult time are truly inspiring. Please take all the time that you need, Kevin, to rest, settle back in, and surround yourself with the love of those you hold dear. Your presence was deeply missed, and having you back is the greatest gift. On behalf of Maloney High School, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the public officials, community leaders, and advocates who work tirelessly behind the scenes, your dedication and refusal to give up were instrumental in bringing Kevin back to where he belongs. This victory is a testament to what happens when a community stands together. Kevin, as you take this time to heal and reconnect with your loved ones, know that this community continues to stand behind you, and we are so glad you're back. Thank you.
I want to close out the press conference by doing two things quickly. The first is to acknowledge two brilliant advocates who've been fighting on Kevin's behalf but couldn't be here with us today because they're both out of town. They're Catalina Horak and Tabitha Sudeo. They're with us in spirit, and I want to make sure that we thank them. And I also want to thank those that helped pull this press conference together, including Councilwoman Jeltz, AKA the Queen, Andrea, Catalina, Kelly, and Charla. Thank you so much for being here with us, and happy holidays. Just wondering if there are any questions before we close out? The gentleman with the Santa cap on.
Senator Blumenthal, will you propose legislation that would abolish ICE? That way this problem never happens again to any one of our immigrant community members?
I think we need a complete overhaul of the Department of Homeland Security, and we need to hold accountable all the leadership that caused this kind of treatment of Kevin and many others who went through the same experience and are going through it right now. And when we talk about detention or confinement, we're really talking about imprisonment without due process, illegalities. There needs to be accountability.
Senator Blumenthal, you mentioned that you want to take Kevin to Washington so that they can see a real situation with someone who has really suffered with his family. What kind of reaction do you think you'll get from those who feel differently? I mean, do you think that we've become so desensitized that they may not?
I'll be very blunt. I think my Republican colleagues are in denial. They are seeing the world through glasses or lenses that distort what is really happening. They need to face the reality of the injustice of our present broken immigration system and the need for comprehensive reform, not only for the sake of immigrants who are being deported illegally, some of them are citizens, but also to reform it so that undocumented immigrants in this country, some of them for decades, working hard, paying taxes, be given a path to citizenship and the security this country needs. And so, I think Kevin is going to be a much more powerful force to achieve justice than I could be speaking on the floor of the United States Senate, because they're going to have to see the reality of what's really happening. He is the face and voice of injustice.
Are there any news you're willing to share about Kevin's father and how he's doing?
I think we're going to not answer that question publicly. Thank you.
Can we approach it maybe in a different way, how difficult it is for him to come home now, right, and his family, and his father is not here? I mean, this has serious consequences for families. You don't just take someone for 6 months, right, and expect them to come back into their community. And, how he has to work with his family now, now that their father is not with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kevin's case isn't a unique one, right? Family separation is ravaging this country, and, I think it's up to everybody to uplift these stories of brutal, brutal family separation, right? Especially over the holidays, especially in times when it's your birthday, big family events. You know, family shouldn't be separated, point blank. I think that is the message that should be spread.
Do you think that this is a bittersweet moment? Because this is joyous, right? I mean, Kevin is home, his family is so happy, and it's his birthday, and he's one of the lucky ones. We were in New Haven, and there was another young man also returned, but there are so many, and it keeps happening. So he must feel happy for himself and his family, but sad for him.
Lo que ocurrió con mi papá pues es algo muy difícil,
The thing that happened with my father was very difficult.
porque fue un separamiento de amigos prácticamente.
It was a separation of friends, practically.
La confianza que tenía con mi papá pues era muy buena,
The trust I had with my father was really good.
y que me apartaran de él de un día para otro pues es algo que aún me sigue afectando.
And the inability to share days with him is affecting me greatly.
Y no le desearía nada de esto a nadie,
I haven't talked about this to anybody
porque es difícil todo y
because it's all very difficult.
es lo que pasa.
Ellos están viviendo si tienen contacto con su papá.
Sí.
Yes.
I'm never going to be invited to MC another press conference if we don't close us out now. So I'm going to thank everybody for being here and wish you all happy holidays.